This is Jobbershoot playing Breakfast Club dinner mode. I think I've already said that. I was just talking out of my ass, and I think I've already said that. Anyway, going through the route, the classic. Are you kidding me, dude? Well, I guess I'll just do it. Oh, it's faster. That's why I didn't do as much damage. I am going through the route, the classic route where the tall grass. I'm pretty sure you can use like the HM cut on it and it'll do stuff. God, her theme is insane. My hobby is Pokemon. I mean, what? You got something to say about it? No. Go on. Keep doing Pokemon to me. Delinquent Miley. Delinquents. We got delinquents and patinquents and Cacturn. I love Cacturn. Cacturn is a good ass Pokemon. Or Cacnea. My name is Cacnea. They all have a southern accent. They should make a Pokemon game that is all just the South. And they all have guns. And they only the only way to catch them is to use the Bible. And never mind. No more southern Pokemon. Ah! So I've seen Batman the Caped Crusader, the animated series that's not the animated series. And I mean that in a good way and kind of a bad way sometimes. Batman is only as interesting as his villains, and this show has that in droves. I've seen a lot of Batman in my day. I've seen the animated series, I've seen the 2005, I've seen the Brave and the Bold. I've seen I've seen Justice League Action or Justice League. A lot of different portrayals of Batman have made it to the television screen. And this one is one of them for sure. God damn it, just get to the point, man. They changed a lot of things about Bruce Wayne. They've changed his voice. I think he always does the Batman voice, which is weird, and it's part of that whole thing where like, oh, sometimes he says to people, Batman is the self and Bruce Wayne is the front he puts on. So when he talks to people in Bruce Wayne voice, that's like a voice he's putting on. You know, it's weird. And then yeah, he speaks like he does the Alfred Rizzy, Pennyworth, don't you dare disrespect me, Pennyworth. He talks like that. And he definitely says that too. It goes back to the like the 50s gangster style. Like it's like Art Deco-ish, but not really. Oh shit, that means I can use my super cool thing. Facade. I'm never gonna heal this Pokemon just so that I can do the entire game like this. So another thing they do with him is they do the whole, I was hoping they weren't gonna do this, but they play out the whole origin story of him again. I gotta pick all these berries. They do the whole origin thing with him again, his mom and the pearls and the dad and the gun. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. We all get it. We all know. Just please start a series where we don't have to see that again. Just, I get it. We know his motivation. That's his whole reason for doing things. I get it. Just, god damn it. Other characters can like reference it for like exposition, but having to see the scene play out again and again and flashback after flashback, like, oh my god, it's so exhausting. I finally get it when people say like, please don't show us origin story, just please carry on with it, just do it, just show him doing the detective stuff. We get it. Yeah, it took a while. It took a couple episodes for that to happen, but they did it, and it's only like what, like 12 episodes long for the first season, but god damn it. Anyway, what it's weird about it is he's sad for a bit, and then it shows Alfred adopting him and taking him in the Wayne Manor, and he wakes Alfred up in the middle of the night as a child and says, "I'm going to get revenge on all of them, and you're going to help me." Like, he decides, I wouldn't expect him to make this decision like then, maybe like closer to his teen to adult years to decide to start being a vigilante. That, like, what the fuck is he gonna do as a kid? So it makes less sense to me, and I don't buy it that he decides to become Batman as a kid, or like fight crime as a child. Like, I don't. It's dumb. That's like the one nitpick I have, but the show looks fine. It has weird visual pacing sometimes. Like, the action parts are good, but when Batman is just like walking, he has this like slow motion walk kind of, and it's really weird in some parts. You'll notice it if you watch it, but I can try to find a clip of it and put it inside this video, but god damn it. That's like another thing, a small nitpick I have. All the villain portrayals I'm mostly fine with. I don't like some of their designs. Like, I don't like the new Clayface, which looks like a version of Scarecrow from like season 3 of the original TAS. And I don't like this version's Two-Face, like visually and, you know, character building wise. I like the Harley Quinn design. It's like instead of the red and black, it's the actually green and yellow. I can get into the characters later, but just talking about them visually. The new Penguin is fine. It's a lady penguin this time. Automatopoeia is there, but they don't say who he is, or he's not tied to the episode at all. Really, it's just they're setting up a sting operation for the gangsters in the city, and Automatopoeia just happens to be there. And you wouldn't know it until you wouldn't know it at all, because nobody ever talks about him in the show. He has the one episode they use him in, and that's kind of it. That's a little disappointing. There's a Gentleman Ghost version of this, and that is kind of cool, actually. I was asking myself, like, are they introducing like supernatural stuff already? This is like episode 8. Like, what? So I'm just like, it's so interesting. And I thought it was just gonna be another like ghost episode, but they tie it into using the character Gentleman Ghost and actually fleshing him out a bit. Because I knew nothing about Gentleman Ghost other than he appeared in Brave and the Bold sometimes, and he was in Justice League for a little bit, along with a bunch of other villains. So it's just like, who the fuck are these guys? No! Oh my god, I almost killed everybody. But also, getting into the show itself, it still has the crime drama elements and some detective stuff. Some episodes surprised me, some of them didn't. You know, what are you gonna do? The first villain they use is Penguin, who is she's still a crime boss, but she's like super cool and popular, and everybody loves her. And she ropes in some of like Gotham's like elite to her cruise ship, where she hosts like parties on. But I'm not saying this is bad, but it does kind of go against the character a bit of Penguin. Is that he's supposed to be an outcast even amongst like the villains of Gotham, and that's his whole motivation for doing crime, is to, you know, get rich and, you know, further his family name, the Cobblepots, who are notoriously like poor. And there is kind of like a tragedy with him in the original animated series. Is like when he's like a grotesque, like hunched over dude. But this is before they changed his design like a second time. But when it's like the big penguin with the big nose and the monocle, he's trying to integrate into society. Like, that's an episode where he does that, and he's trying to fit in for a little bit, but he's just so disgusting and gross that like they buy it for a little bit, but they start to catch on that this guy's like not like stable, and they kick him out of the society he's trying to integrate into, and that's when he's like, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm gonna turn to crime, and then like that's his whole arc, and it makes sense for the character. It's weird to see a successful penguin who this lady in the show is she's also a crime boss, like I said, but she's pulling strings, she's doing this, she's doing that. You know, she's trying to take out the police that she's already got like ties within. I'm not sure the direction with this character, so maybe they'll. And I was worried that like she wouldn't be like, you know, as equally like a gremlin or goblin-esque as the original one, but this was a moment to kind of return to that form, but they don't, and it's a little disappointing. But even so, like after that first initial penguin from the TAS, they changed that design to be this like more posh penguin who's like uppity and snooty. Like I don't really see him fighting or anything, but he also is like a successful crime boss, kind of, or like he's like popular within his own clique, and it's not like, you know, doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. But then you've also got the supporting cast of the police officers. There's Montoya is back, Barbara is back. They changed Gordon's family to be black, whatever, that's fine, I don't care. It really does not make a fucking difference. Montoya is still Hispanic. She has a cool arc that I didn't know about either. They show her doing competent like detective stuff in some episodes, and then like in some continuity she becomes the Question, who is another detective type person like Batman, except he operates independently, and he puts he's like a conspiracy theorist. That's his whole thing, and he's like good at finding connections, and he's a very interesting hero, even though he doesn't have powers. So he kind of fits within like this setting. So I do hope they lead into that, her becoming the Question, because she does fit in this setting where there's not a whole lot of superpowers and supernatural stuff going on. So it works. It would work. Can I fight you? Yes. And the overall central story is kind of about, there's this election coming, kind of like what's it called, The Dark Knight, the movie. There's this election coming. Harvey Dent is there. He's trying to do stuff, but him and Barbara Gordon are like rival lawyers in the courtroom, and then later Harvey Dent runs for mayor. That's like always a thing. But what makes Harvey Dent tragic is that he isn't a genuine guy in the system trying to do good, but the shitty thing is that like the crime is too integrated into Gotham that trying to do good doesn't matter, and he gets like fucked over by everything. So that's how he becomes Two-Face. It's like he's supposed to be a guy who's genuinely doing good. So because he gets fucked over by the system in the city he's trying to save, that's kind of what brings out this whole like second side of him, the Two-Face part of him, that like, you know what, I'm trying to do good, but I just, since it's all chance based anyway, I might as well leave it to chance. There's no assurance anymore. It's a part of him that has like no assurance, so he'll just leave stuff up to chance. Like, much like how his fate was left up to chance and his survival. And that's like, it's such an interesting character. But what makes him not work in Caped Crusader is that he starts out an asshole. So when you see him become a Two-Face and he's an asshole, it's like, well, when did the change happen? You know, when did he transform? He's always like making sexist comments to Barbara Gordon, and just like he he's actually corrupt as a lawyer too, because he's pulling strings within the mob and like trying to get things going and like make ties with them. And it's like, dude, you can't be doing this if you're trying to run for mayor. And what sets that off is that the one time he's like, actually, I'm not gonna play with the mob this time and do what they want me to do, that's when they backfire and they try to kill him over it. Please don't die. Okay. Okay. I need you to keep this power so that I can survive the winter coming. This is my last EX hyper potion. After that, you're on your own, buddy. So, real quick, in the original game... Oh, wait. They kind of do it still. It's just not as prevalent. These guys are supposed to mimic your movements, and it looks like they do here. So, you know what? Good on you. You retain the integrity of the original game. And also, this Two-Face, I know he's supposed to look ugly, like half of him, but it's just one half is his skin, the other half is also his skin, but with like holes. It just doesn't even look like he was. What happens in that one is that he gets shot, like someone tries to throw acid on his face right before a campaign, and it disfigures him horribly. No! No! You took away my poison! Ugh. My precious poison! Oh, well, thank you for that. I had a feeling something dumb like that was gonna happen. So you know what? Fiona is just gonna have to stay in the front then. So I need Escargoon to be good, but also I need everybody else to be good too. Do I have a leaf stone? I do not. Anyway, yeah, I don't like this Two-Face. And then when he is becoming like a full-fledged villain, what he does so what I do notice with this Two-Face is, since he's already a jerk, the part that makes him Two-Face is the side of him that is nice or kind of regrets his actions. So it makes his aggressive part even more aggressive, but it also splits him into two, in that he has this weird newfound like regret and remorse. It's just like a side of him that's trying to do good instead of a side of him that keeps being corrupt or whatever. That's how I'm deciding to look at it. Oh wait, this is bad? Is this gonna work? I was hoping Flame Body would activate, but also... Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this Two-Face. Harley Quinn, I will say, this is a good Harley Quinn. This is a very interesting Harley Quinn. She's not like crazy, wacky, you know, fourth wall breaking, like annoying, like current Harley Quinn. And I know that's like the point of her character, and people like her for it. But you're having a new show with a different interpretation of Harley Quinn. That's you can afford to like go different with it, and they do. This Harley Quinn is a Asian American type person. So that's cool. It doesn't change whatever about the character. But the thing is, the way she does therapy is that she only interviews like the wealthy men of Gotham, and then she tries to get secrets out of them. And when she does, she kind of uses it against them, and then she kidnaps them and brings them to her crazy house up on the hill. And she kind of just like tortures them, and it makes them her henchmen. And I think that part is what makes it weird, is that she only goes after the wealthy men. I find it hard to believe that there's no wealthy women in Gotham that she could also be targeting. And the fact that she doesn't use them for crime, the the brainwashed like millionaires. It can makes her this weird anti-hero in my opinion. Like she does go after corrupt millionaires, got it. So she is technically fighting the bad guys of Gotham, but her methods are just like weird and unorthodox. And when she's being Harleen Quinzel on the surface world, she's a therapist, like I said, but that's where she's like bubbly and laughing all the time and all that shit. But when she's Harley Quinn, she's like brooding and dark, kind of like how Batman operates actually. It's an interesting take on the character. I don't have any qualms with it. I do just wish that she was like consistent or whatever. There's Catwoman. Catwoman's there. I don't have any notes about Catwoman. It's kind of hard to fuck up Catwoman. She's a thief. She's Batman's rival. She also operates independently. She's an anti-hero also. Like she doesn't conspire. Oh. Like, she only goes against bad guys when they're in her way. And she also doesn't like Batman, who is also a good guy, so whatever. Or she doesn't operate like him. She will do good when it's convenient for her. That's how anti-heroes work. Who else is in this show? There's an episode with Firebug, who's different from Firefly. Firefly is a guy who flies around and happens to use fire. Lava plume. Scorches everything around it with inferno of scarlet flames. Flame bursts? Oh. Why would you... Okay, I think lava plume is better. Okay. Oh wait, no. Whoop, get rid of flame burst. Flame burst's not cool. Also, lava plume looks like it burns. Alright. But yeah, it's Firebug instead of Firefly. He's an arsonist. He's kind of like the Pyro in TF2. Just the way he sees the world is like everything should be on fire and everyone's like laughing and playing in the fire. He wants to set the whole world on fire. What the writing bothered me in his episode is when, because the police force who was corrupt, they get the idea to make Harvey Dent look good, or they meant to make the police look good by catching a criminal. So what they do is they release the criminal, they release Firebug, and they want to make sure he stays in place so that they can like put him under arrest again or something. I don't know. But the way they talk about him, they have his suit in the back trunk, and they talk loudly while he's in the back seat about how their trunk is like partially broken. So they say out loud, "Wow, as if anyone could break into our trunk and become the Firebug again. Isn't that weird?" And then he gets the idea to go in their trunk when they get a flat tire. Like, if it was intentional, it would be interesting, but it's not, because they genuinely get a flat tire, they genuinely go outside to go fix it, and then he gets out of the car and takes his suit back, and it's like, you dumbasses, this is writing is so dumb for this particular episode. But they get the idea that like they want, or Bullock punches the guy in the face, the other cop. And they say, okay, here's what we do. We see that he did it. He got out. He took his suit. And he hit us for it. And then that's our story. Because they don't want to get blamed for him escaping. And, like... But that only happened because... That push is so dumb. I'm sorry. That part is dumb. But it's also a one-off episode. So it's like, whatever. There's an episode with not Talia, but Natalia. She's like a witch character who sucks the life force. She sucks the life force out of people. She eats the life force out of people, and I never heard of her until now. If I saw another iteration of her, if I looked her up, I probably would be like, oh, I know who that is. But she's like a teen who does that, and there's an episode about her. And that one in particular, I think there's a Richard character. It starts with two kids going to a theme park or a fair, and that's how Natalia operates, is that she lures kids into the fair and she takes their life force or something like that. And one of the kids is Richard, and Richard is another name for Dick. Or it's like Dick is a nickname for Richard or something like that. And I want to say it's kind of implied that could be Robin, because that's his name, Dick. Don't need Takedown. Takedown is not a good move. Or that's like a name within Batman that always reoccurs. So that could be the new Robin, that little kid right there. But there's an episode about her. I don't know much else to say about that. There's also an episode about Clayface. The Clayface one took me for a loop. Like, it actually surprised me. Like, the way I thought it was going, it didn't go. So they keep the fact that he's an actor. They keep the fact that he was screwed over by someone using this like youth restoring cream to keep him younger, or he was screwed over by the mafia or something like that. The Weather Institute. And they give him this cream that deforms him horribly and gives him the Clayface powers. And I don't remember them really operating like the Clayface in the original TS. Like, he can create like mallets, and he's a gigantic. He can create like weapons and stuff out of his arms made of clay. But in this one, it's more like he just becomes other people really well, and he can create convincing like faces, and he kind of uses that to manipulate other people and trick them and stuff like that. I think he still uses guns, and he kills people like in indirect ways. But I'm not a fan of that design of Clayface. Like, he has like the wide hat, the bandana, the one eye showing underneath the shadows. It's kind of what the Scarecrow looks like in one of his later iterations. Like, in that one, he has the same hat, the same cloak, then the same exposed eyes, and he has a noose instead of the bandana. It's just like, why? I don't really get it. And I don't remember if that version of the show had a Scarecrow. I don't remember at all. And I just watched it like earlier this month. But yeah, the central plot is Harvey Dent becoming the mayor, and that fails horrendously. And the series ends on a note about him or Batman doing like other stuff. Like, or should I really keep doing this? Could I be the Batman that the city needs, or whatever the fuck? And then it ends on a stinger that I don't think needed to be there. It ends on a stinger, like, hinting at the Joker. And just when I thought this series was gonna have an identity outside of like the Joker being in every single iteration possible, they do it. And I'm like, bro, come on. You made it this far without the Joker, and now you're already doing it. Like, it's too late. This series is already happening. They're probably gonna incorporate the Joker in like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the next season if it makes it there. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I was excited to see where they were going. It could have been a new Joker, like some other B-list villain that doesn't get a lot of screen time, that they make like a really threatening character equal to the Joker in this show, and I feel like they missed the opportunity. I'm glad there's no other like Justice League shit going on in it yet. Even though I like Justice League, I like this show to be contained, kind of like the other one was before the first version of Justice League. Just keep it contained to Batman stuff. They can still go crazy with the powers and the detective stuff for sure, but it was doing a fine job before the Joker. That's all I'll say. I don't need Moonlight. Moonlight sucks. Wait till you get Synthesis. But I will say the problem I have with the show is that it's a kind of a bloodless show. For as many times as people get shot and they get stabbed and this happens and that happens, there's no blood. And I'm not like it needs this particular thing, but it's very distracting when somebody gets shot and they die, but there's nothing there. Or like characters get like scratched up like horrendously and there's no blood. And it takes me out of it. And actually, it's like this. Do you know the Venom movies? How everyone is excited to see Venom like tear people apart and all this shit. And that happens in the movie, but there's no blood. Like people's heads get chopped off and it's bloodless. You can't have all this violence with no blood. It makes no sense. And that's why like Two-Face's face doesn't work, is that like he's not like grotesque. He's just got a bunch of holes in his face and it's weird and I don't like it. And some people say that like this is a thing, like this is a David Zaslovian choice, like to appeal to other investors. It's like, well, it's gonna appeal to nobody with that kind of talk. But it's something like that I've heard is blamed on David Zaslav. Like the show, they probably wanted to include like gory bits just so it's consistent with itself, but they had to edit that all out so that, I don't know, it wouldn't be too gory to push out like people who wanted to invest in it. I don't know, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me because the Kite Man show, which is also new at the same time as this show, is a fucking bloodbath every episode. Like people's heads get chopped off, blood spewing everywhere, and that's a comedy. That's a comedy show. This one is much more like action oriented and like mystery and stuff, and just like there's none of that. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But yeah, I'm still gonna keep up with it and see where it goes, and then if it pisses me off in like another way, then I'll drop off at it. But whatever. Alright, I'm gonna do this story beat and then call it a day. I'm starting. Alright, Gobat, what do you say? I say, we use the rock slide. And I guess I have more to say. The visual style is okay. I did think that like it didn't go as dark as the original one, and well, I don't mean like thematically, but just visually, like it's actually too bright in sometimes. If you compare the original to like, if you get a screenshot from the new one and put them side by side, like the original one uses like the Art Deco style a lot better. And it doesn't shy away from using blacks in like many corners and areas of a room or like on someone's face. I feel like in the new show, Crusader, like it doesn't really get really dark with the backgrounds. Like you can still see everything. It's not really a dock against it. It's just like, I don't know. You got an opportunity to make it look better. Or at least give it the same vibe as the other one, and you don't. I guess that's not bad. I would rather a show try to do something different than just try to hit the nostalgia bell and be like, see, look, we did it how we used to do it. Like, you know, that's so boring. Why don't you come again? Why don't you come on the base face of your team? Oh yeah, they're gonna give you a cast form. I actually tried using cast form. It sucks. It's like its stats are not good. Its move pool is also not good. I wish there were a way to kind of lock its weather form. I know that weather changes constantly in battle. Like, you get Pokemon with like Drought, Drizzle, Sandstorm. I wish Sandstorm was a form, but it's not. Sandstorm, the only forms it has are the rain, sun, hail, and that's it. It doesn't have a Sandstorm form. It doesn't make sense. And then you're just stuck with that cast form for a while. Oh wait, I do have an Electrike. I thought about swapping this in with the Pikachu because it's bad, but I need a Thunderstone. Do I have a Thunderstone? And I do already have Manectite. It's like the first one you get. Or did I say Aggron was? I meant like the first one you find on the bike trail is Manectite. But I don't have a Thunderstone, so there would be kind of no point to that. Also, the Light Ball for Pikachu is not too far from here, so I think I can hold out until I get that and keep using the Pikachu. So that's what I'm gonna do next time on Game Grumps.